lot of news this week in Star Citizen. Arena Commander 1.0.2 was released, fixing bugs and doing more balancing, as well as Aurora skins have been released. The Pirate skin, the UE skin, and the special skin for the community called the Pitchfork skin for Operation Pitchfork. This week on Around the Verse, we got a sneak peek of what it looked like to go into our Quantum Drive. It looks pretty interesting. I hope they do that a little bit faster. Alright, let's look at some of Sandy Gardner's, the head of marketing. She puts things on her webpage, on her Facebook. So let's check out some of these pics. We got a picture of Nyx, a picture of the personal arc welder, and we got another view at the sim pod. This week has been filled with a lot of news, especially in the monthly report, so let's get into this. Santa Monica Studio, the marketing, engineering, and art studio, have stated that soon emissive sources will affect the detection of entities. So if a player is flying towards a star, if you're trying to track them, it's going to be more difficult. The item port system has been expanded and explained. The item port system is not only for your ships and the modules that plug into them, but it will also be useful for your suit, for your personal shields, weapons, and your inventory. Your suit can plug into your ship to recharge and and communicate with your ship. Let the ship know if you're wearing a helmet or not. So if you're not wearing a helmet, it'll display HUD for you on the ship systems. There was a ship summit. The art team nailed down design standards and approaches to improve ships and items in the future. It's been revised so there's less rework in the future, and there's more ships in the pipeline. They're also currently working on a character demo, kind of like for the ship summit, so they can get all of their artists on the same page. Let's move on to the Austin studio. The art's been finished for the medic, bartender, and bar patron. There will be more NPC types in the social module. They have worked on the comm relay and repair drone props. They also held an environment summit to help solidify details and practices and discuss architectural styles. Alien languages are ready for artists to create alphabets. They've finalized the mining career design. They have finished a proof of concept for multiplayer hangars. They've done the initial back-end work on the in-game chat system. They're also creating tools for editing NPCs. They're working with Wormbite on increasing the number of players, player persistence, and doing R&D on the economy. IT is working on reducing build and deployment times. Let's move over to Foundry 42, who's working on Squadron 42. They had a tech and audio summit. They've defined their needs for the cinematics and animation for Squadron 42. Squadron 42 missions are all now at a first pass playable state. Takeoff and landing is nearly finished and ready for Arena Commander. There are conversation systems coming along for the game. Modular systems for larger ships is shaping up. The Shubin mining station is nearing complete gray box. An Arena Commander tutorial is in the works. The Audio Summit improved the voice over IP, porting, propagation, real-time effects, DSP tools, and WWise integration. As they're moving from Fmod to WWise, you can expect some sound issues. They also began production for dialogue for Squadron 42 and have been gathering sound effects. Let's go over to Behavior, the studio in charge of environments and the Mobi-Glass. Behavior is working on the elevator system, and as well as working on more planet-side environments. They say reusable assets and the new tools are paying off and accelerating their production. They've had to change the Mobi-Glass AR design a little bit due to implementation. They're also working on tools to create planet-side NPC AI. AIs with schedules, and they're able to have conversations between themselves. They're working on expanding control customization for players. The SimPod concept is complete, and now it's entering production. Let's move on to Illphonic. Illphonic said the FPS module is nearly ready. They're finishing the zero-G system where the player can push and pull themselves on the environment dynamically. They have 2 new weapons implemented. They didn't say their weapon names, but they said one is long distance and the other hits multiple enemies. The mocap animation is now being implemented from the mocap shoot they had a few months ago. The white box on 2 team elimination maps are nearly finished. There are more maps being designed, and they're placing vents in these maps so there will be new ways to play. Let's move on to Turbulent, the studio charged with making the website. They're working on a community hub to increase community involvement and as well as welcome new players as well as old players. They've nearly finished the star map prototype and they want it to work so they accept real game data and ports it to WebGL on the website so we can see it in 3D like we currently see our 3D models in the ship stores. The gating data that will be shared in that system hopefully will be economics data, location data, store information, route planning, and other things. Optimization is underway for mobile devices, so if you have a lower resolution or a slower connection speed, the website will work better for you in the future. Let's move on to Moon Collider. They're charged with working on the AI. Basic combat AI is finished, and now they're refining behavior. Behaviors like self-preservation, sharing data within a group, tactics, holding position, investigating a lost player position, and a combat move. The AI is also being optimized so it has less CPU overhead per frame. Okay, that wraps up the monthly report. Let's move into the shield design post, which is beefy. Shields protect from various damage types. Energy weapons are completely absorbed. Projectiles are slowed to decrease damage. Splash damage is deflected. Higher powered shields take more hits, deflect more splash damage, and have more shield faces. Shields can be augmented to increase effects or to balance them. There's different types, like the military, a high damage, high recharge, high power use, high signal. There's also stealth, low damage, low power use, low signal. Civilian, where everything's even. Eraser, where there's low damage but a rapid recharge. Industrial, where there's high damage, low recharge, low power use, high signal. Outlaw, weird stuff like vampire shields, flux shields, etc. There's going to be variants like rapid charge, where you have a low recharge delay and high recharge value. A durable item, where your reinforced components are strong and can take more damage, and they put out more, a shield with higher HP. They have direct damage shell, which improves your direct fire absorption, but it reduces your splash damage. Then you have direct damage variants, where you'll have better absorption of direct kinetic energy, distortion damage, and splash damage is all reduced. You have a splash damage guard, which improves your splash damage absorption with reduced direct fire absorb. Second skin, which improves your overall damage absorption with higher power draw. They also have one called hard light, which substantially improves shield HP and absorption. They're going to add more controls to shields. We will be able to have custom presets where we can set up beforehand our style of play and then on the fly directly go to it. Manual prioritization, where we can tell our shields which segments we want to charge first, and as well as shield face power output, where we can actually overcharge our shields. Now, the interesting thing about this post is they started talking about multi-crew player functionality with shield generators. There will be a member of the crew that will be able to fine-tune and control the shield segments. They gave us some graphics to look at. We'll have different tabs which will say which actions can be taken at a station. Each station can have 3 actions. Information included in the ship information sections includes power usage, CPU usage, IR and EM output. There are 5 customizable presets available, and they're transferable to different ships. So when you go into a different ship, you can just load a preset you had for a ship before. Your generator info shows which ones are on and their condition. Once they're selected, they'll show their name and their heat output. You can tweak total shield power, regeneration, and recovery. Segments can be prioritized, taking points from other segments, reinforce dangerously exceeding limits, and drawing extra power. Or boost increased regenerate, which also draws extra power. Crew members will be able to request power from their stations. So if a turret gunner's shield goes down, he could request that he gets his shield back up or more power to his shields. This is still a work in progress. The goal is to have shields dynamically cover the ship closer to the mesh, and if you lose a wing, not to have a big segment of shield that's covering nothing. It'll collapse back down onto the body of the ship itself. Shields will also be in the first-person shooter. They have one called the Quick Deployment Barricade, or QDB, which they have an animation of on the website. Environments will affect your shields, and they still have some other ideas on the table. Alright everybody, thanks for sticking with me for this episode of Sunday Citizen. I will see you next week. See you in the verse. Peace.